NVR Broncos podcast coming to you live from Studio X.
Studio X.
And today the X stands for extraordinarily cheap.
What?
Extraordinarily cheap.
Huh.
We'll talk about that here in just a second, but first a shout out to our presenting sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Get a $1,000 free bet when you go over to DraftKings Sportsbook. Or sorry, your first bet is protected up to $1,000. So if you bet $1,000 on the Broncos to win the Super Bowl and they don't, you can get that back in free bets. So check it all out over at DraftKings Sportsbook.
How much would you win if you hit that? What are they? I don't remember off top. Like
I think they're plus 800.
plus 800, so you win $8,000.
No, maybe they're plus 1,400.
Yeah, I think it may be closer to that.
Yeah, I think it moved like way up right after the rest thing, just because a lot of money was coming.
Oh, and then it's calmed down since.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
I heard today that odds, at least I'm not exactly sure on DraftKings, but the Broncos started at 10.5 on some places. Now they're down to 9.5. 10.5's a little dicey, just because we've had them floating between 10 and 11. I love 9.5. Smash that over.
All those shitty Madden ratings are influencing people.
Dude, it just keeps getting worse.
It does. It really does keep getting worse. We'll talk about that in a second.
Is that what the cheap's referring to?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Extraordinarily cheap. That's what the Arizona Cardinals are getting Kyler Murray for.
Oh.
Yep.
Huh.
They got.
Tell me about that, because we're talking about the biggest contract outside of guaranteed money in NFL history. Or no, I guess put Mahomes' contract aside.
Mahomes is up there, and then an annual average value. Rodgers is
up there. Okay, so there are a couple guys.
So this, I mean, Cardinals just hit the jackpot today. Like, they went to the Salvation Army, and what do you know? On the sale rack was a franchise quarterback.
I'm not so sure, Ryan. I'm not so sure. They're paying. Okay, so now, to be fair, now they're paying what, top 3 or 4 money for Kyler?
Yeah.
He's right around there.
Top 2 in average annual value.
Okay. So they're paying top money for a good quarterback, for a 10 to 15 quarterback, I think is where I would put him.
I think he's top 10 for sure.
Okay, who are you taking out? Because let me read you a quick list right here. You have, let me find it. You've got Tom Brady.
Don't go by the Madden ratings.
It's not the Madden. Okay, here we go. Tom Brady.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes. Stop me when you want to. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Stop? Am I stopping? Justin Herbert.
Keep going.
Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Dak Prescott.
Oh, Dak out for sure.
See, I'm not going to make a case for Dak being top 10. I do think Dak is a better quarterback than Kyler.
Don't say better quarterback, because that's not what this really means. Okay. Who would you rather have for the next 5 years?
Dak.
Okay.
And I don't love that, because I think it's fair to have a conversation between Dak and Kyler. But even then, you're in a weird territory, because paying elite money for a non-elite player, a good player, is not a good place to be. Now, of course, it's better than not having a quarterback. I think that position is better. Look at the Kirk Cousins and in that deal. And Kirk Cousins is below here. I think he's in that conversation with Kyler for 11 to 15. And that's an awful place to be for their organization. Now, is it better than not having a quarterback? Sure, because you're relevant in some years, as opposed to the Broncos not having Kirk Cousins and not being relevant. I think I made you sick a little bit.
Well, I would also talk about Matthew Stafford
before.
So I think he's right in there with Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott at the back end of the top 10, somewhere in there.
Okay. Did you forget about Matthew Stafford last year?
Yeah, he's awesome.
See, and I just think that's what catapults him into being, okay,
but
he's
we're
in
talking,
the top 10.
Again, we're talking about the next 5 years.
The next couple of years, sure.
So for me, if I was Kyler, and this is why I say they got such a bargain. If I was Kyler Murray, as soon as the Aaron Rodgers deal is done, I'm walking into the office of the GM and saying, this is where the deal starts, or I walk, period, end of story. And their option is pay him that much money or don't have a quarterback, and everyone is choosing the money.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, wow, like if I was Kyler Murray's agent, which, by the way, we kind of know, I would be saying like, wow, what a great teammate Kyler is. Just decided to take a huge pay cut for what we should have gotten, just because he wants to help the team win.
So he took about $5 million a year less.
But plus the guarantees. I'm saying 5 years, 250, all guaranteed is where I start, and I'm not listening to anything below it.
And what's so funny is how petty negotiations are. Ryan, you remember the details of Deshaun Watson's deal? We're talking $230 million fully guaranteed. Now, Kyler didn't hit that, which I agree is something that he's giving up. $46 million per year. What does Kyler check in at? $231 million, $46.1 million guaranteed. It is so petty.
Yeah, it really is. And again, I don't know why any of these guys are settling for anything less than 100% guaranteed contracts. You are a quarterback. You run the league. Don't let the owners or GMs or commissioner fool you. The league is run by quarterbacks. And not a single quarterback out there that is valued. Teddy Bridgewater can't be going around demanding fully guaranteed contracts, but anyone that is valued. And so maybe we're cutting it off at Kirk Cousins, and he got it. Should settle for nothing less than a fully guaranteed deal.
Isn't it crazy that there's only been 2 though? I mean, I thought, and I think everyone thought when Kirk Cousins got it, that's why every NFL team hated him, because they just said, Kirk Cousins, not only did you raise the price, but now you've made it so everyone's getting a guaranteed deal. And then we didn't have those. And now Deshaun Watson, it seemed like it was going to, if Deshaun Watson's getting a guaranteed deal, then everyone should get a guaranteed deal. I'm curious where this goes from here. Are these going to be every couple of years we see one? Or is it finally going to start happening? Because Kirk Cousins wasn't really viewed as the guy. Now, he was viewed as Minnesota's guy, but he was never viewed as the best quarterback in the league. Deshaun Watson, with everything he's got going on, he's certainly not viewed as that. Are these just going to be outliers?
I don't know, but I think that the quarterbacks, for lack of a better term, need to sack up. Call these people's bluffs. If you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing.
Yep.
And so their entire plan, all of these GMs have a 5-year plan, 5-year lookout. It all revolves around you.
Yep.
So do not listen to any offer. And I'm not even kidding. I would tell my agent to tell them if they have an offer that isn't fully guaranteed, don't even bother. I won't listen to it. And in fact, if they bring me an offer that is anything less than fully guaranteed, I'm telling them no matter what, now I'm not signing with you.
Ooh. Do you think that's what Lamar's doing? Maybe not to that full extent, but he's saying it's got to be fully guaranteed. And that's why there really haven't been contentious negotiations with them, is because they know he wants fully guaranteed. And they're probably sitting back and saying, if he's not putting the pressure on us to sign him right now, let's just wait another year to see if he stays healthy. Let's wait another year. But they're going to get up to it pretty darn soon.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And if I was Lamar, for sure, I would be doing that, just because he's exposed a lot more than other players. Yeah. So yeah, look at Robert Griffin.
Boy, I'm confused now.
That felt so weird.
But when you said Griffin at first, I thought Griffith too.
Yeah, so did I. It came out wrong. Robert
RG3.
Griffin.
There we go.
Look at RG3. Look at these guys. That risk is out there. I think Lamar and even Kyler falls into this category too. It does such a good job of avoiding big hits because they're so slippery that it's not as big of a concern. But every time that you roll out and leave the pocket is a roll of the dice.
Yep. Literally.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where these guys should not be accepting less than fully guaranteed contracts. And Kyler especially got fleeced on this one. Only 160 of it. So basically, you got a 3-year contract.
Yep, exactly. 3-year, $53 million a year contract.
Yeah, and that's not enough. Again, I'm also saying 7 years is where we start.
Ooh.
But maybe Kyler felt like he wants to make it so this contract ends when he's still very young. I think he's 24 right now.
Yep.
So this ends when he's 29, which is prime age for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So then maybe that's how his agent, kind of sold it to him, is, look, this is a 5-year deal. As soon as this is up, you are going to get the biggest contract in football history.
And you're getting $75 million per year at that time. And so now this shifts to Russell Wilson because, Ryan, how many quarterbacks have been signed this offseason where the Broncos, the price tag for Russell Wilson has just continued to go up? Deshaun Watson was the big one.
I think it went down today.
It went down today. No chance. No chance. And because Russell Wilson, he's not going to be taking any discounts. And if you consider what Kyler Murray did as a discount, and I see your point, that's not going to be happening with Russell Wilson. I think what Russ is going to do is he's going to stack every contract that's out there and take the biggest part of each one of them. So the guarantees, the average annual per year, and anything else, and just say, yeah, let's top this.
Yeah, I mean, so the reason I think it went down today is because now you have a floor, which is below where I thought the floor was before.
Okay.
I thought the floor was Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And now the floor, I think, is Kyler Murray. And so you start there, and you're obviously going to work your way up from there. Mm-hmm. But I think it falls somewhere in between Kyler and 5 years, $250, all guaranteed.
Why wouldn't it just be 5 years, $250, all guaranteed? Because that would set the bar for all of those. Because
I just think the Broncos have a little bit of precedent to say, like, that's too much.
Why?
Because of there's not a contract out there that looks like that yet. So they can say, okay, well, we'll come up, we'll go fully guaranteed if you want. We'll go.
But bring it down.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do, $50 million if you want, but you got to pick one of them. We're not going to do all three.
I think it's going to be very petty. I think it's going to be $1 million more in guarantees than Deshaun's got, so $231 million guaranteed. I think it's going to be $1 million more than Aaron Rodgers got, which was it exactly 50 or somewhere right around there? It's going to just notch that up, and we're going to be talking about a 5-year deal. And Ryan, I think regardless of which one it is, we're going to be talking about this potentially within the next month. And why I say the next month is yesterday we found out that the Denver Broncos sale to Walton and Penner Group is going to become official by being approved by the NFL league owners on August 9th. It's very much expected that August 10th, they're in the building and it is their team. Their first order of business should not be a stadium, like some have said. Their first order of business should be locking Russell Wilson up, because I don't think maybe this might be a rare opportunity where you think the quarterback market comes down a little bit. That doesn't happen often. It's only going to go up, and you have no concerns with Russ. So people may say, well, why wait until then? Because the money, it just simply may not be there. And then also Joe Ellis, in his final days as the owner, probably wants to let the next owner make a $250 million decision, even though it's a no-brainer.
I would do it like a presidential pardon. Like all of my buddies on the team are getting new contracts on my last day.
Certainly your executives, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like, oh, that guy, yeah, he just signed a 5-year, $600,000 deal.
Would there be any reason?
Who is he? He's the janitor.
Would there be any reason not to do that? Just setting the future ownership up in a good place?
I assume it's just like you'd be blackballed from like the NFL circles.
I mean, Joe Ellis is going to blackball himself. He's going to go up to Maine and live in Maine and like be off the grid.
Is that where he goes?
Yeah. I think that's where the Bush family, which obviously he's cousins with, has a big property, and I think he already has a property there.
I think I've said this before on this show, and I'm pretty sure I used this state. I'm pretty sure Maine, of all 50 states, is the least likely state for me to ever go to.
It makes sense, because how are you getting up there? Why are you going up there?
Right, and I've heard great. I'm not even saying like it's
agree.
not. I've heard great things. The food's great. That's usually what gets me to go to a place.
Lobster.
Yeah. But like, I've never met anyone from Maine.
Nope.
And I've never there's no events that go on there. It's not like you're like, oh, I got to go to that golf tournament that takes place in Maine.
No.
It is Augusta, but different Augusta.
Very different.
I just can't imagine. It's so far up there, that you'd really have to want to go there. Like I thought 5 years ago I said I'd never go to Delaware. Where I accidentally stumbled into Delaware once. Several times now I've accidentally fallen into Delaware.
It's easier to do that than Maine, though.
That's what I mean. Yeah. You don't accidentally go to Maine.
No, you certainly don't.
Maine Lobster Festival, great
Sounds like the Midwest.
It really does. But you're right. You're not going to be like going from Canada to the ocean, being like, I need to go through Maine to get there.
Exactly. I probably won't make it to Maine.
We're not opening an MN.
I've got 50-ish years left.
Don't sell yourself short.
50 to 70 years
There we go.
left.
There we go.
Just don't. I have, in my long-term outlook, I'm not seeing a trip to Maine in there.
I'm a little surprised there's not a golf course that's like great for 2 months of the year because it's so green
So
on
lush.
the ocean. Maybe it's just because it would literally only be 2 months out of the year.
It probably is, but it's just in Maine, so no one's heard about it. Anyways, I think you're right that they need to come in and lay down a contract day one.
Wouldn't that be such a great way to get people on his side?
Oh yeah, signed up Russ. Is it going to be a 5-year deal? Would it be longer?
Russ would probably want it 5. He's done deals of 4 in the past, so maybe it's actually 4, and then doesn't break the record books in terms of 230. Maybe it's still more per annual value, but maybe he wants 4 because even though he says he wants to play 8 to 10 years, maybe he says in 4 years I'll still be in my prime enough to get another big contract. If I wait 1 more year, that's just risking it for potentially 4 or 5 more years.
So 4 would make me nervous. Just because it's like all of a sudden the window just went right back to the Peyton Manning window, and the Peyton Manning window felt really short. Like I remember after year 1 just being like, there's only 3 more years.
Right.
Like, they got to get going.
Yep.
So I wouldn't like a 4-year deal. That would make me uneasy.
Get ready for it, because I think financially that just makes the most sense for Russ. Actually, here's the flip side to that though, Ryan. If it's a 6-year deal, that would make me nervous, because that would make me say, ooh, Russ is saying 10 to 12 more years, but maybe deep down, this is admitting, okay, I've got 6 good years left. Let me get 1 more big contract right now.
Well, in our make the case about John Elway's touchdown record, you were talking 10 years, and I said, like, I'm seeing 7.
And that's fair.
And 7 would get him through his age 39 season.
Which is also fair.
Yeah.
I mean, how many other quarterbacks are playing at 40 and ever have? It's Tom Brady. Is Aaron Rodgers
There's been
technically
20.
40? That have played in their 40s?
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of these guys were like backups.
Okay.
Matt Hasselbeck played in his age 40 season,
Okay.
but he was a backup.
Yeah. Brett Favre probably
Yeah,
did.
Brett Favre. Like, there's only a few that played at a high level.
Right.
And that's Brett Favre, Tom Brady. You go through the list.
Yep. And Russ, the way he takes care of his body, if anyone's going to do it, he should be there. And speaking of Russ's body, did you see him last night at the ESPYs, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't.
And here we go. We're pulling it up on the screen for everyone watching on YouTube.
Let me just say, super handsome man. Looking great.
There's going to be a but.
I feel like his stylist wasn't doing him any favors with the two-tone jacket that blends right into the pants.
Yeah.
Because it so you can't see where his waist is.
Right.
So it makes him seem shorter.
Yeah.
He's already short. Meanwhile, you've got Ciara, probably wearing some 6-inch heels.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole mix. It didn't all work out great.
Yeah, plus the double-breasted makes him seem more like a waiter or
I thought
like
you were talking about
thinner.
Ciara.
Oh yeah, that's for sure too. And Russ, the black going, the extending into the coat, it makes him look like he's fishing in Maine, and it just gives a different vibe to it.
Yeah. The thing is, like, once you reach a certain level of stardom, you just can't wear regular shit anymore.
That's true. Yeah, just a normal tux doesn't work.
He should have just worn like a navy blue suit with an orange tie, the old Peyton Manning.
Yeah, it's very true. Do you know which designer they're both wearing right here? Let me just say it's a Russ and Ciara staple. Probably definitely 100% endorsed by them, or like they're getting a big deal from
I'd
it.
be very surprised if you knew those, Ryan.
I
don't.
Can I get a country of origin?
Europe, I would assume.
I was thinking Italy.
I think so. I think Italy. You've definitely heard of it before.
Tom Ford.
No.
No,
I think
no,
he's
no.
actually American.
Okay.
Tom. Yeah, he's from Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Versace?
No. I could have led you astray. I don't think so, though. 2 words. I think they're 2 names with an "and" in the middle.
Dolce and Gabbana.
Bingo.
Shout out Greg, Dulcich and Gabbana.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good for them. Why did you say no so much when I said Tom Ford? Does he have like a style that doesn't fit?
It's just a no.
What do you mean?
I mean, she's right. It's just a straight up no.
What about Tom and Ford?
Tom and Ford, maybe.
Anyways, yeah. Looking good. Looking like a $250 million man.
Yeah, he really is. Or
I think what it was like Ciara's outfit just didn't scream Tom Ford to me.
Yeah, that's probably
Maybe
true.
Suits are kind of harder to tell, but
It kind of screamed like SpongeBob to me.
Russell Wilson's
What?
outfit?
No, Ciara's.
Oh, Ciara's out like
What?
peekaboo.
It was like I don't know how to.
What?
They kind of look like shells, you know, like,
Oh, yes, like ocean. Yeah, of course.
like a shell bra.
Yes.
DNVR will never have a DNVR fashion podcast. Clearly,
Why
not
not?
led by not led
that
by
does
me.
not look like a shell.
It
I
kind of
see
looks.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Kind of looks like
Yeah.
It kind of looks like shells.
Like she was swimming naked in the ocean and then was like, oh, there's cameras around. I gotta
right.
gotta
Go
help
snag
myself.
some
here.
shells and some fishing line.
Well, and Russ was fishing in it too. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh
Russ was out there on the main river. Okay, I don't know how we got there, but
no, I think we hit the contract stuff.
okay, cool.
Russ is gonna get paid.
And hopefully soon. Honestly, the longer it takes, even if it doesn't happen in like the first month, I'm like wondering, like, is Nathaniel Hackett feeding them information that he sucks? Like, what's going on here?
And that's honestly, I mean, that just shows you why they should not wait.
Yes.
There's no reason to wait, and I can't imagine Russ is saying, I'm okay with $22 million this year. No. He wants that cash.
Yep, 100%.
And you know what's crazy is he just bought the most expensive house in Denver metro area ever. In Colorado history, that's going to be chump change when he signs this deal. And I know Ciara just made the top 5 in top hits in America. So,
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Is it a banger?
It came out. Yeah, it came out last week. If you have Russell Wilson, if you ever look at Russell Wilson's.
Yeah, we
for
definitely
copyright
can.
reasons. But
Actually, super funny. At Russ's camp, which I went to a couple of weeks ago, he had the kids dance, and he said, what's a song we should play? And one of the kids said, like, Level Up, which is one of Ciara's songs.
Okay.
And Russ said, no, anything but that. And so he was like, DJ, just choose a song. What'd the DJ choose?
Level Up.
Level Up. And you should have seen Russ just instantly. He did a great job of hiding, but at first he was like, what the...
Wow.
here for people on the
Is
YouTube.
this on? I only hear new music now if it's on TikTok. Is it in a trend yet?
No, not yet.
It's
but-
on Russ's Twitter account.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna show this part of it. It's called Jump.
Yeah.
Jump with me, and she's wearing Broncos colors.
Hey.
In her uniform for the first one.
Nice.
Wow.
Is this the one where she was like going to random gas stations and twerking?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Because didn't someone like
called
a
Jump.
month before this was released take like a video of her doing this? It was at just a gas station, and they were like, Ciara's up to something right now.
Yeah. Probably planted.
Probably. Yeah.
Don't trust anything on the internet.
It's true.
We do have someone here in the comments saying, or Jose says it does look like a Little Mermaid shell bra.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe that's what I should have said. Little Mermaid, not SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the SpongeBob is what would have thrown anyone off.
Yes.
I was just thinking the first thing that came to my mind in the sea.
Like-
That's fair. Not pineapples though, shells.
Yes. I think like maybe Sandy goes to the beach, rocks a shell bra. I don't know.
Sandy rocking the shell, bro. Actually, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it.
Quickly, let's touch on. Wait, how long have we been going?
Let's touch on sexy pizza.
All right.
Delicious pizza. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Russ and Ciara. I don't care if you are me or you or anyone, Sexy Pizza is the best pizza out there. And they have so many good central locations, Ryan. I was in Cap Hill just driving around last week, drove right by one. Got it the next day because it just reminded me about it. It is the best pizza out there, and an awesome thing is it is Colorado-based. It's a local company, and so when you support them, you're supporting the community. And also, if you buy one of their philanthropies, you legitimately give back to the community by that. That's such a cool thing that Sexy Pizza does. So check them out over at sexy.pizza.
I also love that they came up with that pun. Great pun.
It is. It is. You would appreciate that.
Sexy Pizza. Oh, God, it sounds so good. I'm having one of those days where it's impossible for me to stop being hungry. I just eat, still hungry. Eat, still hungry.
Yeah. Have you had Sexy Pizza yet?
I have not. No. I bet you if I put down a whole Sexy Pizza, that'll probably put me out for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
And
maybe
that would be a relief at this point. Also, a shout out to Evoca TV, which is solving the issue. I don't know if you heard the latest update. It sure sounds like we're not getting that solved for another year.
Not believe this. I'm so happy that the Broncos aren't in this mess.
I am too, and I'm so sad that the Avs, a literal champion, are in this mess because they picked up a lot of fans during the run.
Yep.
And those fans are gonna probably not even know what's going on.
Yep.
Until next season starts and they can't watch the games.
Yep, and then they probably, a lot of them will say, damn, I really wanted to watch it, and I would be watching these games, but I guess I'll just wait till playoffs roll around until they're on national TV every night where I can actually watch it. And you know what? If the Cronkies let it get to this point, they deserve losing a bunch of these fans. And I hate saying that because the fans should absolutely have access, but now there is no excuse, Ryan.
And that's why Evoca TV is here.
Yep.
Evoca TV is here to solve those problems. So if you're someone who did latch onto the Avs during the playoff run, and it does sound like if you are a Comcast user, you are not going to be able to watch them next season, you got to get Evoca TV. Yep. Like, make them feel it. Hit them where it hurts.
Yep.
Because, they clearly don't care. Yep. They're like, this isn't even on, like, the sad thing is, like, this is on the first thing on the checklist for altitude every single day. It doesn't even make it on the list for Xfinity, Comcast, for what they need to take care of in a day.
Right.
So, people need to leave. Go to Evoca TV, and maybe that will put some pressure on these. But while you're there at Evoca TV, you're going to end up realizing you love it, and it's way cheaper. So $25 a month plus $10 off your first 3 months when you use the code DNVR at sign up. Get your channels, watch your teams, and watch us. It's obviously easy to just go to YouTube on your TV, but it'd be even easier if you were just on your cable and you just scroll down one channel, which is we are one channel next to Altitude on there. So there you go.
Fitting, as we should be. Speaking of us, check us out over at thednvr.com. We're dropping shirts left and right. Just dropped a sweet batch of Av shirts. Stay tuned for Broncos shirts as training camp starts next week as well. And speaking of training camp, Brian, we are going to dominate coverage over at thednvr.com. We're going to dominate coverage over on YouTube. So if you're watching us right now, hit us with a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Our new pod time starting next week, 3 p.m. We'll debut that next Tuesday, so make sure you are subscribed, turn on alerts, hit us with a thumbs up as well, and we really appreciate all of this support. But check this out over at thednvr.com. This is the batch of Avs clothing that we just dropped, and boy, it is so cool. Ryan, which one is your favorite of the new batch of Avs?
Long sleeve black of this one.
Yeah.
This one in long sleeve black. I am obsessed with this logo. Mm-hmm. It is so sick.
I love it. And the long sleeve, Ryan, you mentioned it. We've had so many people saying, I love the long sleeve, and we've got it in this drop.
Yep, we really do. And, I kind of want to do something with the 3 Lombardis now, but it's like, do you just wait for 4?
As Russ's shoes would say, waiting for 4.
Which, that was my idea. I said it on this podcast.
It was when we talked about it the first time around.
Yeah, because he had the 3 on there. I said he should have the outline of the 4th one.
Yeah. Yep, he was listening.
Good idea. Shout out Russ.
Good idea.
Sorry for the things we said about your outfit.
This one's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, the 8-bit.
On YouTube.
Yeah. It's so cool, and just D-Line Co. crushed it.
He really did. Yeah, and that moment, any chance you get to think of the moment of Landy holding the cup with the fireworks going off in the background, So you could just, every time you're going through your closet.
Yeah,
just,
you get to think about it, and then you get to wear that moment. And you can do it for free, Ryan. If you join us on an annual membership, you get a free DNVR t-shirt of your choice. So check us out over at thednvr.com, where you can also leave your questions, which we'll get to in the third segment. But before we do that, Ryan, we got a few things to talk about. And let's get right tackle competition out of the way. Broncos have a loaded competition at right tackle.
No, they don't.
No, they don't? What? But Ryan, they've got Tom Compton.
Yeah, who?
They've got Ben Braden. Tell me you've heard of him. You know of him. Household name, Ben Braden.
Oh, okay.
They've got Calvin Anderson. Can't even hear his name pretty much.
He's the second best.
And you have a guy named Billy Turner.
Who is way better than all the rest of them. That's just how it is. Like, I'm not really going to acknowledge this as a competition until something happens. Meaning, if I see 2 days in a row of Calvin Anderson over there, then I'll start to say, okay, Billy Turner might be in trouble. But he's bigger, faster, and stronger than all the other guys.
And is loved by Nathaniel Hackett, maybe more than anyone on the roster. Maybe Nathaniel can fall in love with Russ a little more because of the position. But in terms of a person, and I think also a player, Nathaniel Hackett loves him, Billy Turner. That's the reason why Billy Turner's here, is Nathaniel Hackett said, I want him here. If that typically happens, Ryan, that person has a leg up in the competition.
Which I'm not questioning why. Well, maybe I am questioning why Nathaniel Hackett loves Billy Turner, just because he's literally never given us anything. Like
Billy?
Yeah. Like, he does not like the media.
Yes,
so I'm like, what? I can't see his personality.
Right.
He just mean mugs us as we walk by.
Yeah. It's so true. But I said he has a leg up. Why I can't pick Billy Turner is, Ryan, he doesn't have a leg right now. Now, he does have a leg, but he didn't practice all of the offseason program because of an injury. And in Denver, that's not something that I think surprises people. Billy Turner just was nicked up this whole time he was with the Broncos the first time around. Now, he went out to Green Bay, was able to stay relatively healthy, but I just can't get that out of my head. And then he comes to Denver, and he's still hurt. So I do think we see Calvin Anderson start multiple days. Now, does Billy Turner come back in after this and then he's healthy? Well, then it probably is his job. But because of that injury history, I'm taking I'm not taking Ben Braden. I'm taking Calvin Anderson to win this job. And also, another tidbit to this, Ryan, is you and I have a pizza bet. And you have the starting offensive line being the 5 guys we talked about a couple of months ago. Garrett Bowles, Dalton Reisner, Lloyd Cushenberry, Quinn Meinerz, and Billy Turner. Yesterday, I said it would be Dalton Reisner and Quinn Meinerz. I agreed with you. So I have to disagree here. Or else I'm going to owe you a pizza. So I'm going Calvin Anderson.
What was the pizza bet we made this week?
Oh, what was it? What was it? After that, I thought, man, I need to write these down, and did something else and forgot.
I felt like I was the one taking a risk there. I just
were.
can't remember what it was.
You were. Hey, someone in the comment section, hit us up because I know you guys remember. What was it? You really took a dark horse at something.
Man.
I feel like it was did you choose Melvin to be the starting No, you choose Eric Tomlinson to be technically the starter.
I just said he's one. I said one of the Erics is on the field for the first offensive snap.
Yep, man. You gave me good odds.
I did. Okay, someone write that down so we don't forget it.
I do.
Do we know if Billy Turner is going to start training camp?
Nathaniel Hackett, initially, with all of the guys that didn't practice at the beginning of OTAs, was very confident in all of them playing at the start of training camp. I think he realized that as a coach, you probably shouldn't talk like that. So as the offseason went on, in the last update, we got mandatory minicamp, he was not committed to anything of these guys. So I don't want to say that that's a no. I think he just realized maybe one of the guys is way behind schedule, so he just kind of wanted to throw them all in a group together.
Okay, I'm changing my answer just a little bit.
Okay.
I said I need to see Calvin Anderson for 2 straight days, which I guess this would happen either way. I was just going to say, if he doesn't start training camp, then all bets are off.
And that's kind of the
and when I say all bets are off, I mean our pizza bet is off.
No, we're locked in. I think we shook hands virtually over a pot.
Yeah, I hate when guys don't start training camp. I'm down to 5 sacks for Randy Gregory is my expectation.
Yep. Yep.
So, that's just the where I'm at. I've yet to see it where a guy doesn't start training camp. He's banged up. Oh, he should be in next week. Nope. No, he's not next week. It's not the week after. Oh, he's missing the first preseason game. And then it's just like this all spirals out to a point where he's never healthy the whole season.
Yep. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, I've been fooled by this about 15 times. I'm not going to be shamed this time around, Ryan. So I completely agree with you. And had something else. Don't remember it. Not good news on Randy Gregory, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably not going to play at all until week 1.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you.
Week 1.
I'm not counting on him. Not for the whole season, but I'm not counting on him to be the $14 million Randy Gregory. This is what I thought of. We need to have a buyout option on bets where, like, you got to buy, at one point it's you're buying out at an extra topping on a pizza. Then it's like, a soda and a topping. And then at a point, you just got to buy the whole pizza, there's no buyout.
I like it. I also feel like we should make our pizza bets paid off by like us going to get pizza.
I like
together.
that. I like that too. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Now you really want to get mad?
Yeah, I do.
Madden ratings, Ryan, came out, and cornerbacks. This was the one where we weren't going to be surprised when Melvin Gordon and Javonte came in the 80s. We weren't going to be surprised by a few other things, but I think there's 2 that could really set us off. Pat Surtain having a lower rating than he should, and Russell Wilson not being in the 90s. Russ is officially announced tomorrow. You may have a little insight into that, but today, the official rating came out for Pat Surtain. Ryan, he is an 83.
It's a out and out slap in the face is what it is. And I'm not even sure who they're slapping. Everyone, you, me, Pat Surtain, the Denver Broncos organization. They're just saying, like, we're making your team suck.
Yeah.
So deal with it.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. And that's what the Broncos are going to be.
They're going to be terrible.
Yep.
That is the second or third best player on their team, depending on how you slice it, in real life.
Yep.
And they've got him as an 83 overall. This is a guy, and I quote tweeted your tweet about this, saying this. This is a guy who multiple NFL executives in the last 2 weeks said they would take this year over any other corner in the league.
Pat Surtain.
Yes.
Wow.
That was in the Jeremy Fowler article. Woo. He said underneath where they ranked Pat Surtain, which was 7th. In his little excerpt, he said multiple NFL execs said they would take him number 1. And that was the whole point of it was this year, right?
Wow.
It was not, 5-year projection. So multiple NFL executives believe Pat Surtain is the best corner in the NFL as we stand here right now. And he's an 83 overall in Madden.
Oh, my goodness. And according to Madden, he's a 20th best cornerback. And Ryan, I can certainly see where those executives are getting that. But 7th is probably right where he should be. And you said that's where he averaged out to be.
That's where he came out, in the ESPN article.
That's the respect he should be getting. So am I saying Pat Surtain should be a 99 in Madden this year? No. Would I be surprised if he's a 99 in 3 years? No, I certainly wouldn't be. But Ryan, he should be. So of the 11th best cornerback is Kendall Fuller at an 89. Pat Surtain is just simply week 1. I'm taking Pat Surtain for one game, Pat Surtain or Kendall Fuller. I'm taking Pat Surtain, and then right after that, you get into the 90s. Yep. So it's not crazy that he should be in the 90s. No, I never expected Madden to put a second-year player in the 90s.
Who's 10, 9, 8?
10, you have A.J. Terrell.
Okay, we're still taking Pat.
Marlon Humphrey.
Pat.
J.C. Jackson.
Pat.
Stephon Gilmore.
So now you're getting into, like, the elite players.
And I think Stephon Gilmore's trending the opposite direction.
Yeah, and you could make that case.
Marshawn Lattimore, and maybe this is kind of where you're like, Pat is going to take that step this year.
He should be in that group by the end of this year.
And he will be. He will be. And that's exactly what I think. And the weird thing about this with Madden, 83 isn't, I wouldn't even put that as his floor. I think Pat Surtain's floor this year is an 86, 87, 85. So they're not even hedging is what the weird thing is. When we talked about some of these other players, we said, okay, they're hedging with some of these guys because they probably don't deserve to be so high, but they know that they have the potential to be. I'm surprised that Madden is setting themselves up to finish the year so far from where they started with Pat.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this. First of all, he's got to be superstar. I don't know. That stuff doesn't come out yet, I don't think.
I don't think so.
But I was thinking about this in the sense of development. So Pat Surtain is what, 24 years old, 23?
Yeah.
And I think Madden might have to put these young guys who are already awesome a little lower than they deserve to be.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to develop them in the game.
Okay.
So, like,
that makes sense.
if you put him at a 90, which is where I think he should have been.
Yep.
He's so young that, his dev points are so low that you probably have him to a 99 overall by the end of your first season playing the game.
Yeah.
And so maybe they protect that because someone responded to me, and this actually made me more mad. Someone responded to me and said, Jamar Chase is an 87. Shout out to Jens 1893. Jamar Chase is an 87. I think they're always really cautious with ratings for second-year players. He was like trying to defend them.
Yeah.
If Jamar Chase is an 87, then Pat Surtain should be an 87.
What was it? One catch for 3 yards?
Yes. Clamp City.
So if Jamar Chase is an 87, Pat Surtain should be an 88.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, I was like, that's not an excuse. That's more ammo for me.
And the thing, I completely agree. And the thing on top of that is that still would have been hedging for where Pat Surtain finishes the year.
100%. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. 83 overall for a guy that was that good in his first season is just disrespectful, straight up disrespectful.
Who's a better player, Melvin Gordon or Pat Surtain?
Pat Surtain by so much.
They're both 83s.
I know.
Yeah, and who's a better player, Cortland Sutton or Pat Surtain?
Pat Surtain.
Yeah, to me, I'm taking Surtain as well. And sheesh, Ryan, this Madden team is not going to be as good as we thought this year. They are. Every day we go through this, we say the exact same thing. They're going to be the worst team in the division, and it's not even going to be close.
By 7 or 8 points.
Yep.
The Broncos are going to come in at a 79. Yesterday I said 80. I think it's going to be under 80. I think they're going to come in as a 79 overall team. And I think the Raiders will be the second on that list, and they're going to be an 86 overall.
Man, I think you're
that
right.
Might be too high, 85.
But I think you're spot on with that, and it's going to make everyone sick. Also, really quick, before we dive into some defensive line ratings, people, not to us actually, because I think people understand where we're coming from, but there's people online that have been saying, why in the world are people caring so much about Madden ratings? One, Ryan, it's the week before training camp. We haven't gotten into hard news. If this was coming out next week, probably wouldn't talk about it at all because we actually have something to talk about.
Smart of them to release these right now.
It's so smart. But also, this is a fun and interesting way for us to look at this and say, okay, is Madden off? Or are we so much higher on this team? And to get a perspective from around the league as well. So we're not saying, oh, geez, we thought this was an 11-win team. After seeing these Madden ratings, Ryan, they're a 7-win team. We got to change our expectations. No. It's just a fun thing to look at. And I think you guys tuning in know that it's a fun thing to talk about, compare. But for people that think we're actually basing our thoughts off this,
no,
absolutely
it's
not.
just a way to frame a conversation about how good someone is.
Yeah, exactly. And Madden has done a great job with that. And the fact that they're releasing it like this, it's very smart.
Yep, they're getting a lot of press out of it, but it's not going to help them sell the game with Broncos fans, I'll tell you that.
That is very true.
2 things. One, I had someone in my mentions today saying Pat Surtain is overrated because he got mossed by Devontae Smith. And I'm like, if over the course of 17 games, the only thing you can think of is the one play where he was in perfect position. You can't get mossed unless you're there.
Yeah.
Where he was in perfect position and a great player made a great play on him. I'm like, you're proving my point for me.
The reigning Heisman winner.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I think
Devontae
you're okay.
Smith is going to make you, if you play long enough, you're going to get beat, especially as a corner.
Of course.
But second, I wish I could remember who it was. Someone put out a little film breakdown today of Pat Surtain.
Love it.
Against Terry McLaurin, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, the best receivers in the NFL.
Different skill sets, too.
Yes, and it was just one clip after another of him playing just incredible corner. And the way the person tweeted it was it's not possible to play the position better than this.
And that's why some executives are taking him more than any other corner, more than the 99 overall.
Jalen Ramsey.
That's why the Broncos are building their defense around a cornerback. Something you don't see that often. The defensive line, though, Ryan, this is one where I do take a step back and say, oh boy, are we overvaluing these guys? Because I would say the Broncos defensive line, when we've talked about it, we've said average to good. And not great, not elite by any means, but not bad. Madden really disagrees. DJ Jones, the big splash they got literally and by the money, 76.
Should we call him Sauce?
Oh, especially when his sauce is here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sauce Jones is actually pretty sick.
I like that. I like that.
There's already Sauce Gardner, but who cares?
Is there a DJ Sauce?
Like
DJ a legitimate
Sauce?
DJ? Yeah.
Probably.
Because that would work too.
Yeah, that is true. DJ Sauce.
They're Madden saying don't give any nicknames to 76 overall DJ Jones.
And this is like one of those things where I just don't, especially with the Surtain, but DJ Jones is another example. What are they watching or not watching?
It doesn't make sense. And maybe he just doesn't fit what Madden prioritizes in terms of like...
Are you able to see like what his run stopping grade was?
I can pull that up right now. But that's the thing is, I wasn't expecting a 90 from him, but I was expecting great run stop ability. And maybe, sure, then you have some, he's good at rushing the passer for an interior guy. So in terms of overall pass rush, he's probably not going to be that good, and that's okay. But that he should be an 85. So here we go. Strength is an 87.
Too low.
Going through this right now. Tackling, an 81.
Based on what?
I think I saw his trucking was an 89. His interior...
What is it? What's the acronym?
Man, PRC.
That's press coverage.
Probably not. That's an 80. His pursuit is an 82. Could you imagine if his
Press coverage.
Madden knows something we don't?
PRC.
His power is a 78, which
Play recognition.
Okay. His power is a 78, which I disagree with. He's extremely powerful if you watch his game. Oh, power move, 78.
Okay, so that's pass rushing. But.
As well, right. What would run blocking? ILB.
Well, it's like his archetype, because you have like run stopper,
Right.
pass rusher, speed rusher.
It doesn't have that
Okay.
ILB rating. Inside linebacker rating is an 87, so that's good.
ILB.
Interior block shed, but that's not
No.
it at all. So they just toughness 89. He's a tough guy. I mean, he's got like all the intangibles: injury 90, toughness.
I just don't think they know he's good.
I agree. And it's because he plays a non-sexy position,
thankless position,
and he also was surrounded with huge names in San Francisco, so it was easy to overlook him. And I think the Broncos did a great job of not overlooking him.
I just think you put him as like someone who is like a 90 run stuffer and like a 68 pass rusher.
Yeah.
And just like allow people to at least use him in the game the way he's used.
Exactly. Draymond Jones, 75. So they're saying the Broncos have two average defensive linemen, and average is all they are. Mike Purcell, the other technical starter, 70. It's a little bit below average. And then the depth, Deshaun Williams, 69. Innie, 67. McTelvin Najim, 67. And Marquise Spencer, 63. So they are legitimately saying the Broncos' defensive line is below average.
70 overall.
Yep.
Ish.
Yep. And now we know the outside linebackers, which was a disappointing group.
Yep.
We know the cornerbacks, which, by the way, I should go through the rest of the cornerbacks here because they had Pat Surtain, 83, Ronald Darby, 78, Kawan Williams, 77, Michael Ojemudia, 74, Blasson Austin. It's a wake-up call for me that he's on this team. 72, though. So shout out to Mr. Austin. Damari Mathis and Asang Bassi, both in the 60s.
Man, I cannot believe how bad this team is going to be.
It's so true. It's so sad because this was the year that was supposed to be like, damn, the Broncos are actually going to be fun.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, this team's almost unusable.
Yes.
The only thing that's saving it is Russ.
Yeah. And I am afraid that Russ isn't going to be able to save them. I don't think he's going to be the 84, the 83 that I think he should be. And
94, 93.
Yes, 94, 93. And someone in your comments said they saw Russ was an 89. And now they may know something we don't know, or they must have just misheard, but that wouldn't shock me at all if he's an 89.
But if he's an 89 X factor, like again, you can just like get by with having him on your team, just like the same way the Broncos could.
Right.
But even then, like, I'm worried Pat Surtain's not going to be a superstar. Although wasn't he last year? I thought he even started the game as a superstar. Was he a super?
It would make sense. A top 10 pick.
Yep. So you'll have maybe a superstar, Pat Surtain, and are they going to give Justin Simmons X factor, or is he just superstar as well?
No, being the fifth safety.
So so you have 2 superstars on your defense. Yep. That's it.
And that's it. Yep. And on offense, you have 1 superstar with Russ.
Yeah.
He's not an X factor. He's not going to be. Not that I don't think he is.
Even if he is, that's all you have on offense.
That's all you have. Otherwise, it's a bunch of low 80s, Ryan. And we haven't even got to offensive line.
Oh,
Yikes.
no, they're going to get murdered.
Yikes. I mean, we like the prospect of Netani Muti, but in a sense, he's still a prospect.
Madden, yeah.
They're going to say he's a 74. No?
68.
No. This team's going to be unusable.
At least to start the year.
They're going to make Russell Wilson run for his life like he did in Seattle.
Yep. I bet you Bowles gets a surprisingly respectable rating.
He's going to be the 3rd highest rated player on the Broncos.
At like an 84.
Oh, man. I'm going to go he's an 86.
I can't go high on it. I'm not going above 85 for
fair.
anyone.
It's very fair. So right now they've released many of the positions. And really quick, I just want to give a rundown of how many Broncos are in the top 10. One Bronco in the top 10. That is Justin Simmons. In terms of Chiefs, you have 2 Chiefs. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is also going to be in there when they release that. Raiders, there are 3. That means your Los Angeles Chargers, Ryan, have 1, 2, 3, 4. Chargers lead.
Because of the overrated Khalil Mack.
You can probably say that you can make a case that all of these guys are overrated. Derwin James being a 93.
Him being above Justin is stupid.
He's just not healthy.
Yep.
Khalil Mack, he's overrated.
He's very overrated.
Significantly overrated. Joey Bosa, 91.
I think it's fair.
I think so too. And then Keenan Allen, I think he's overrated.
Massively overrated.
Yes, he should be in the 80s.
Yep. Okay. So if I didn't love Madden so much, I would say we should all boycott it.
Speaking of which, Madden team draft on Sunday. You got your eyes on anyone?
I have the number 1 pick.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. It means I need to make sure I'm actually know when it starts.
Man,
we have a wedding Saturday, so it can't be hungover the next day.
All I have to do is know what team I want to be.
And I think it's just like we're not actually doing it on Madden.
No,
so you can be
type
remote.
it in.
Yeah.
I'm between 3. I just have to decide who I want.
Well, you can announce those 3. No one's taking them from you. Doesn't have to be a secret.
That's
yeah,
actually
the birds
a good
would make
point.
a lot of
Birds
sense.
again.
Yeah.
You won your first
All
ever
right.
Super
Could
Bowl.
you
with
officially
the
announce
Eagles.
Could you trade this for
I
like
really
a pick?
wanted to. I would have done it too.
Official announcement. We getting the final 3?
The final 3. Denver Broncos.
Okay, of course. Love it.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Ah.
New Orleans Saints.
Oh.
Which you've been the Saints and you've been the Eagles.
I know.
I really, the way I said Eagles really sounded like Eagles.
There's
Eagles.
there's a lot more to
It was
this though
weird.
than just like what team do you want to be. You have to know
Colors.
what stadium you want to be.
Yep.
You have to know, and that's indoor, outdoor.
Yep.
What conference you want to be in, like
Yep.
all these different things. Like
Yep.
right now, got to admit, I'm the Vikings. Hate them, but I get 8 to 9 games in a dome.
Yep.
Plus 2 games or 1 more game against the Lions. So more than half of my schedule every single year is in domes. And then I see all these people like playing Blizzard games. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Oh, and so that would be the case against Denver.
Yep.
Their stadium's fun. It's a nice looking stadium in the
I
game.
remember Spencer, the first season he was the Broncos, like he had like 7 rain games.
So that's classic Madden, not
Yeah.
knowing what they're talking
Yes,
about.
exactly.
Oh, if you don't choose the Broncos, it's going to be a lot of disappointment.
Or people will be happy. Like that was kind of one of my thoughts is like, do I really want to take that away from someone else?
That's true. Bless you, Allie. But also, you win Super Bowls all the time.
I was also thinking like I am the villain of the league. Like, should I just be the Raiders?
No,
I think you need to be your Superchargers.
No, yeah, not in a million years. But at least the Raiders have good colors because, like, I definitely wouldn't be the Chiefs either.
You'd be indoors. And you would get just as many indoor games as you're getting with Minnesota because you'd also get to go out to
That's
LA.
right. Yeah, I'm not doing it, but I
Saints
thought
would
about
be
it
the
for a
only
second.
indoor-
Just
Saints
to,
is the only place that has a dome.
I know.
Eagles and Broncos.
Yep.
I know. And
Eagles, you'd be getting a
warm
lot
weather.
of bad weather too.
I know. It's a tough decision. We'll see what my
But
hungover
the
brain thinks on Sunday morning.
nostalgia. You won your first Super Bowl with them. Do it again. The nostalgia. I got to sing the fight song to everyone who was watching the live show. It was great.
That team was sick. Kyler Murray, Saquon Barkley, Laviska Shenault.
That's pretty darn good.
Okay, anyways, let's give a shout out to Athletic Greens. Actually, over the last week, Zach, I have replaced pre-workout, which is definitely not good for you, with just taking my Athletic Greens before I go to work out. And I really liked it, like really enjoyed it. It feels like I have like a much cleaner energy burning than just like, oh, my head feels like it's going to explode. I need to lift some weights. And it's just, there's just something about drinking Athletic Greens that just like makes you feel good.
Yep.
It's great for your gut health. It has so many different vitamins and minerals in there that just will do so much for you. And if you just have to at least try it to like see what I'm talking about. Because I legitimately notice at like 11 a.m. if I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to take my Athletic Greens. Like, that's why I'm like, there's this like cloud, you know?
Yep.
It makes it so I can survive without coffee for longer.
For much longer,
Yeah.
for sure. So check out Athletic Greens. Use the code, go to athleticgreens.com/Broncos, and you're going to get a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase of Athletic Greens.
And you've got to check out our friends over at FOCO. And I'm not talking about Fort Collins. I'm talking about a place that has such cool merchandise. And Ryan, they've partnered with Jokic to bring out some back-to-back MVP gear. They have some awesome vintage stuff as well. And it's really cool when you find a company that's able to balance vintage stuff as in their 96 Sackett collection with the brand new stuff of the Jokic. And I think that's something that we do over at DNVR really well, is balancing those. And our friends over at FOCO do that as well. And you can get 10% off by using the code DNVR over at FOCO.com. So check them out at FOCO.com to see everything they have. I mean, such a big collection of stuff if you're looking for Colorado sports gear. And then also, if you want to just click in our link in our YouTube description, if that's easier for you.
There you go. Anything else?
That's it. Shall we hop into the comment section and talk to the people?
Any super chats?
No super chats, but some comments. You guys can't really see the chat, so.
Yeah, we don't have our monitor up yet. That's why it's a little more difficult. Anything notable that you wanted to share with us?
Jared said Sauce Chisholm.
Sauce Chisholm.
Rolls right off the tongue.
You'd have to call him Mayo. He doesn't use sauce.
That's true.
Is mayo sauce?
No,
Yes.
it's a topping. It's a condiment.
Oh, yeah, it's a condiment.
Is
It's-
ketchup a sauce? I don't think so.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that's fair. It's not.
Then Isaiah here, sad, says, me and my friends thought we were going to be so fun
Oh, yeah.
regarding Madden.
Yeah. No.
Saying, why
Maybe-
does Madden hate the Broncos every year?
I don't know. I just feel like they're going with like a prove it thing, which I guess works. It's just so lame for right now.
It's so lame for right now. And on top of that, isn't Madden kind of also supposed to be projecting? Because they want to be that year's game. They don't want to be a year behind.
That's really true. They're giving you the Broncos roster last year with Russell Wilson.
Yep, exactly. And I could do that.
And you have to imagine all of these players are being lifted up by Russell Wilson.
No, 100, especially the receivers.
Yes.
In the group, according to Madden, is like slightly above average.
And honestly, I didn't hate the receiver ratings that much individually. But now that I've seen the whole thing, I'm like, geez, you could have at least boosted up the receivers.
Yep, right, exactly.
Okay, 2 more things. Jared said, I really want that DNVR wooden sign to be a candle holder.
Oh, that'd be easy.
That'd be cool. And then Peyton Manning here says, I don't get the hate on Kyler on Arizona. Sure, he's short, but he's fast and had a 2.46 ERA in high school. He'll be good when they play the Rockies. Wait, the Diamondbacks signed him, right? He sent it twice. He really wanted it read on here.
Trolling, but like,
Yeah, definitely trolling you.
I just wait. this is going to look like a bargain deal in 2 years.
It may, or they'll be looking to get rid of him. I just don't feel like the Cardinals are committed to him, which is weird after giving him this money. But why wouldn't they have done this deal 3 months ago?
So similar.
2 months ago?
I was just talking to the PHNX guys, and I was saying, like, you guys have dealt with a lot of this crap. It's the same thing they did with DeAndre Ayton.
It's true.
Just, like, let him out there, and they knew that they would always have the right of first refusal, so they, like, almost made it seem like they didn't like him all season.
Right.
And then gave him all that money.
It's if you're going to give him that money, especially like Von Miller, if you were going to give him that money, John, why do we have to go through the bad times first?
So true. And I will say this on Kyler. He has to become a better leader. It's the only way that he will ever become elite.
Yeah.
Because he's great right now.
Yeah.
I would put him in great. Maybe he's bordering on good to great. But he has to become a leader if he ever wants to get even close to those guys at the top.
And so far, a lot of questions about that.
And it's blatant. It's not just like behind the scenes stuff. It's like, Jesus, man, come on. Stop pouting.
It's not rumors from the locker room. It's everyone seeing
So everyone's seeing him just like moseying over to the thing, like not talking to anyone. He has to figure that out. I assume that's something that like the organization told him, but you have to want to do it.
Yeah. Good for him, though. He chose the right sport.
And again, right now, it's so easy to call Russell Wilson corny and all these different things.
Yeah.
When he's leading on the sidelines on Sundays, no one's going to think it's corny. You do have to be... Every quarterback I've ever met had like a little bit of corniness to them because they have to be a rah-rah, you know, like, hey, everyone listen up. You know, we got this.
Yeah.
I believe in you and you and you. And you. You can't do that if you're trying to be like cool guy all the time.
Right.
But... it's just funny because all we've gotten since the Russell Wilson era begun is like things of him just being corny.
Yeah.
Like the dialed in. It's just like, God damn it, dude.
I was on a Kansas City radio program this morning, and they surely brought that up.
Yo.
And
it's not like Patrick Mahomes is cool.
Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen has embraced not being cool, and now he's cool.
He has I don't know. If I had to pick one of those two guys to just go get a beer with, it would be Josh Allen all day.
But Josh Allen has never focused on being cool. He's never tried to be cool. He's embraced who he is. And I mean,
I don't think Patrick Mahomes does either necessarily. Like he leaned into the ketchup thing and all that.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's corny too.
Yeah, no, 100%. And if you focus too much on that, then you turn into having the reputation of Kyler.
Yes.
I mean, Justin Herbert's not cool.
No.
In terms of like where he's worried about his haircut. No, when he got the haircut, he was getting killed for it. He looks super young and gets dished on for that. And you look around the league, and Peyton Manning certainly was. Tom Brady has his things. You're right.
Russell Wilson.
Yep.
I mean, Russell Wilson is aggressively uncool.
100%. But you know what? And what I said when they were given all that, I said, absolutely, he's corny. But the Broncos have a quarterback now. Yep. You'll take that 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, totally. And again, Sundays, you're going to love it when he's on the sideline riling everyone up.
Exactly.
We got a last-minute super chat, $50 from Gregory Venderlin.
Gregory.
Let's go.
There's
Thanks, man.
no comment. I don't know if he's going to send another. Sometimes it's kind of hard on YouTube to do both. It's kind of confusing. So, Gregory, if it's just that, thank you so much. If you're going to send a comment, I will bring it up still, even if it's not part of that super chat.
This was an accident. Can I get a refund?
refund. Well, we love you, Gregory. Thank you so much for rolling with us. And let's talk to the people and hit some questions really quick over at thednvr.com. First one coming in from Illinois Broncos says, guys, I'm convinced that the Madden reps do not actually watch NFL games. Some of these ratings are wild. The fact that Justin Simmons is the 6th best safety is one thing. But how about Minkah Fitzpatrick not even making the top 10?
That one's wild. He was 2 on the ESPN list.
And he's got the name. He's got the organization. That shocks me.
Alabama?
Yeah, everything. Top 10 top 10 pick? Top 15 pick. He says, and Derrick Henry being faster than Tony Pollard? I mean, come on, EA. Open your eyes.
I don't care about that one. You have to make Derrick Henry fast if you want him to be as good as he really is.
He's got to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
And now he is.
And he was this year, too. So
Yeah, exactly. Big Hangstand says, how many games will it take for Judy to surpass Ruggs' touchdown count?
Okay, well, you got to at least tell us how many touchdowns Ruggs had.
Here's what I'm confused about it. Henry Ruggs has 4 touchdowns in his career.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy has 3.
So, game 1.
Or surpass. You think he gets
game
2?
2.
Yeah, I think it happens first 2 weeks because Russ is going to throw a lot. Big Hank he goes on and says, also, I thought Vic said he'd land another gig in a jiffy. Maybe he's just being choosier than we expected. Ha. Has Victor been granted persona non grata status in Denver yet? Love, Hank Stan.
First of all, why would Vic want a job? The Broncos are paying him to do nothing.
It's very true.
And I'm sure there's offset language where if you get another job, the Broncos will only pay the difference between them.
Definitely.
So you better believe I'm getting paid $3 million a year to go golfing.
Yeah, absolutely. And also what Vic can do and what I imagine he's thinking is become a defensive consultant with the team in December on a playoff team to kind of partner up with the playoff team, be a defensive consultant, and then you don't have to work in training camp. You don't have to work in August, September, October, and kind of take a year off. But Big Hankston, when I read this comment last night, I thought, no way did Vic say that. And I remembered Vic said that. Pretty bold thing to say on the cusp of potentially getting fired.
That's true. If I was him, I would not get a defensive consultant job in December. I would just go to like Fiji or something.
You can
make
afford
sure
it.
the Broncos forward those checks to the correct address.
Yeah. Love hearing from you, Big Hank Stan. Mark IT Snatch says, hey guys, out of curiosity, why hasn't Alexander Johnson been re-signed?
He's kind of redundant to what the Broncos already have in Josie Jewell a little bit. And the Broncos just picked Josie. Like it was going to be between one of those two, and they picked Josie. Now, the longer he sits out there, the more chance I think of them just like bringing him in for depth or if there's an injury.
What's crazy is the rest of the NFL is also saying that he's just not as good as he was for that, couple game stretch that he had.
Yep. And if someone needs a thumper, like they'll go get him. Where he kind of took a step back is people thought he could cover. We thought he had the ability to cover, and he just really didn't.
Yep, exactly. This next one's pretty cool. From Flumunda Cheese. Says, fellas, it's been a long time. I'll answer the call for OG members to chime in, and I promise it won't be 1,000 words this time. LOL, 2 things. 1.
It's pretty close.
It is. Why haven't we signed Ndamukong Suh yet? Is there an advantage to waiting? Or do you think we've tried, but Suh won't sign because he knows his value and demand will just keep going up?
If I'm Suh, I'm not going to training camp. So
absolutely not. No chance. And this guy doesn't miss games, so he'll be ready.
Yeah. So that's probably why.
I think so too.
Sorry, still just considering my offers.
Yep, 100%. I think that's why. 2, in the spirit of hearing from some more OGs, I'm calling you all out. I'm going to be at the DNVR bar the morning of the Indy game. If you can find me and tell me the name of Count Locula before he changed his username, I'll buy you a beer. As for Count Locula, where are you? If you're listening, show up and prove to me, Ryan, and Zach that you're the real Count, and I'll give you one of my club-level tickets.
Wow.
Whoa.
He says, here's the rules. No mentioning this comment on future pods. I want to see who's listening today. No comments on this post. No comments on Reddit. Let's see who is listening and wants a beer. If everyone plays by the rules, then everyone gets a beer from the cheese. If not, no beers. Catch me if you can. Let's go, Broncos. This is awesome.
Well, we know where the Count is.
And the Count's listening.
The Count is listening, although I do worry, based on the Count's new name, if they didn't listen to the whole show.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good little hint for people.
Yep. Monster Mayhem finishes it off. Afternoon, fellas. I'll one up off of RK's prediction and say both Dalton and Quinn keep their jobs all season. Speaking of shirts, I have an old school Broncos shirt. That's a BWO shirt playing off the classic wrestling NWO. It has the big names of back-to-back Super Bowl teams wrapped in barbed wire. It looks awesome. That does sound awesome.
That is cool. And the do you make a retro Broncos shirt incorporating now the 3 Super Bowls, or is retro only cool with the 2?
Oh, I see.
Like,
what
do
you're
you
saying.
like retro stuff that's new but retro themed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just not enough true vintage out there.
You could say that even if there was. You would be saying that.
Why?
because you just love vintage.
I do. It just
Like there could be enough. This room could be full,
and
you would say there's still not.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I've planted it enough into Eric that like he throws a lot more old school style into his stuff.
Yeah, and I can't wait for some more Broncos gear.
It's coming.
Yep.
It's coming.
You kind of got to be a champion or that level to get that respect from merch. Broncos are getting that respect now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess we came out with the Let's Ride, so that's the last one that we've done. Before that, it was Justin, and before that, it was Teddy. And the Teddy one, like, that was a reaction on our part, because it's like, oh, the team's undefeated, and people are really excited. So like that's what gets us to move into gear.
Right.
And I think that's coming very soon.
And there's just gonna be a lot more excitement around many people on this team.
Totally.
Unlike Madden, thanks.
Unlike Madden, yes, absolutely. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Sweet. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. This has been fun. Is Henry back tomorrow? Yes, Henry's
back tomorrow.
You're out.
Yep.
I'm a staple, you know?
You stay here.
Yep, I'll be right here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.